Hello, everyone. This is Ted Check, Public Relations Manager for the International Foundation for Protection Officers. I'm here with Dominic Arcuri. Dominic, you are the president of the Arcuri Group.
Yes, Ted, we're education management company based in Florida.
Excellent. So yes, and the reason we're doing this is because just recently, your company and the IFPO have entered into a partnership, mutually beneficial partnership. And so that will enable IFPO graduates, students, and members to get to enjoy 20% off of your flagship course, which is the SAS, and that's the Situation Awareness Specialist. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your company and your background, and then what you offer?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I come from a policing background. I spent many years on the street working as a police officer. I did community policing. I conducted investigations on repeat offenders, as well as a bunch of different assignments throughout my years in policing. And after that, I spent considerable time overseas in other countries and developing nations, working with local authorities and bringing up to capacity both security and policing functions. And the sort of byproduct to that was that I was able to move around and travel quite a bit, and having exposure to all these different locations, cultures, potential issues that develop in the security landscape really gave me an opportunity to learn a lot about who I am as a practitioner, but also about how other people may respond under stress and certain dangerous circumstances. And this information was really what was the catalyst for my returning back to the United States eventually and coming up with this program idea. I mean, situational awareness is a baseline behavior. It's a baseline function for all of security. And from there, you're able to build a more robust security, skill set within yourself. And yes, just to touch on what you said about IFPO, we're really excited about this opportunity, and it's really going to give us the opportunity to enhance the security industry by working together to bring fundamental and critical trainings to those in the field. And that's what this is all about.
And Dom, before we go any further, maybe we should define what situation awareness, or some people refer to it as situational awareness, but what that is. What exactly is that?
Well, the definition is the perception of elements, environmental elements with respect to time or space, your comprehension of the meaning and the projection of their potential status after something variable has changed. And that could be a simple thing as walking out onto the street and seeing traffic, beginning to cross the road, and a car comes whipping around the corner at high speed and you have to jump back. The situational awareness definition doesn't really, in layman's terms, describe the discipline and the complexity of the things that take place during the course of maybe a split-second decision, or even in a long-term planning situation. But essentially, it's a mental state that will allow you to effectively, focus on and react to life-changing or life-threatening events. And wrapped within that is your ability to screen out distractions, because you're faced with many distractions as things unfold from day to day. And these distractions can contribute to the threat level and put you in more jeopardy, really. And so it's a complete commitment to yourself for survival. And you start that with committing yourself to be alert and aware.
Right. So you mentioned filtering out distractions, and in that way, in doing that, I would imagine you're focusing on things that actually are important or would potentially impact you. So in other words, you say, for example, you walk out from a store to a parking lot, you're going to your car, all your senses are heightened. You're watching for people maybe coming towards you, or maybe somebody coming up from behind you, things like that, I guess.
It's an all-encompassing process. Yes, that's one example. Another example is even before you get out of your car, it's entering the parking lot in your car before you decide where to park. It's evaluating the parking lot as you pull in. to see where people may be gathering, where lighting conditions are better for you, where access to the doors may be a better situation. It's also, you use the shopping example, it's also about leaving the shopping mall and stopping and pausing and looking out into the parking lot to see what's going on before you just head out there with your, arms full of bags. I mean, those are examples, and filtering out distractions has a lot to do with that. When we train, and I trained the Iraqi Police Department in Jordan, the Iraqi Police Service in Jordan. It was 3,000 of them came through my classroom, and one of the things that we did out in the field and during training was that we taught them how to run from danger, how to approach danger, and navigate around potential threat. But we introduced all sorts of additional distractions, from vehicle horns to people screaming, to we used flashbang explosions to try to distract them. So it's a matter of whether or not you have, first, the commitment to stay alert, and then second, how you deal with those elements and those distractions that may unfold without warning.
Gotcha. So you've got the course, and this is a professional certificate program.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about the course itself and who it benefits. So who should be taking this course?
Well, first of all, the course is a 4-hour class. It's a lecture class. It also includes a final exam, which the participant will have several days to complete. And it's applicable to really anybody. We're really initially aimed at the security industry, but this is a discipline that can be used anywhere. We look at things that have been happening in the news, shootings, stabbings, and these crimes that occur. Security personnel is not always present. I mean, we're talking about offices, schools, shopping malls, restaurants. So this is a skill set that we all have built inside of us already. It's just a matter of fine tuning it and bringing out those disciplines to be able to capitalize on what's already built inside of us. And as far as who benefits from it, not just the practitioner, but everybody around them benefits from it. If it's a restaurant worker and they notice something that would be considered as suspicious behavior, and they report it, and it's intercepted before there's an incident, well, then everybody in the restaurant benefits from it. So it's our families, it's our friends, it's our coworkers. So it's not just the security industry.
That brings to mind a recent example here. I live in South Central Pennsylvania, probably about an hour north of Baltimore. The next county over, Lancaster County, has a fairly good sized mall. And you might have heard about this. I don't know if it actually reached the national level of news, but there was an individual, a juvenile, who had a gun, and I guess he pulled it out in the middle of the mall, was wrestling with somebody else, at least one, maybe two other people, and some shots went off. A gentleman totally uninvolved in it was in a store, heard the pop of the gun, and he was armed, came out, and as some would say, neutralized the situation. He shot the individual with the gun, effectively putting an end to the dangerous situation. And so he was alert and ran toward the danger rather than running away from it like most people were.
And that's interesting, because we just had a shooting in Florida here in Tarpon Springs just the other night. It was a Saturday night, this past Saturday night. A 17-year-old kid was using an airsoft rifle, and he was pointing it at cars going by, and
I saw that.
And people reported it, and police put a stop to it. But what we don't see is sometimes the fallout from these incidents, where, say, an elderly person is placed into a state of shock or has a heart condition, and they have a medical emergency as a result. So we don't see a lot of these other things that could happen during these incidents. So it's a and
that was unfortunate. In the Lancaster incident, there wasn't an innocent bystander who was struck as well by gunfire.
Wow. Yeah.
So that was very traumatic situation for all involved.
Yep.
But yeah, so a 4-hour course, a test to earn the certificate. And
yes.
Go ahead.
And we have the course is comprised of several modules, and the modules build upon each other. And we start off in a very easy developmental stage where we introduce situational awareness as a definition. We talk about mental state and capable lifestyle, and it builds from there. And really what happens through the course of the entire program is that our participants get more and more involved in what's being presented to them. They can relate to these things. They relate to the difference between capable lifestyle and a vulnerable lifestyle, for example. And then later on, they're able to relate to certain things that we present when we talk about time and distance and reactionary gap and these types of things. So it's a great way to bring somebody with no security experience into the same lane as somebody who's got a lot of experience. And that's what we find in our classes. We have people that are college students. They might work at a loading dock or drive a truck, and they might be sitting in the same classroom with a former FBI agent or a career law enforcement officer, a military person. So it's fantastic learning opportunity for the individual, really, because it's a unique place to learn this skill set surrounded by people who have been using it for many years and be able to learn off of them. So it's a great introduction, and after that, they have the opportunity to continue on, and we're in the process now of finishing up our advanced practitioner class, which we hope to have available soon, so that people will be able to take that online. Yep. And then we'll have a nice suite of courses for people to engage in.
Fantastic. And so you have online courses, and you also have in-person courses. You can do either one. You can teach it either way. Do the in-person ones have some type of physical element to them, where you're getting people up out of their seats and kind of putting them in scenarios, maybe?
Our classes, well, first let me start with the online classes. Our Arcuri group teaches online training, and then we have a number of partners out there that partner with us, and they have rights to our access to our material, and they provide situation awareness specialist training under our license. And in those scenarios, sometimes the provider will introduce some workshop activities. So yeah, it's very possible. And I would say to the individual, if they're looking for a live in-person class, they should check with us, contact us, and we'll help them find somebody that's providing it in their area, so that they get what they're looking for.
Excellent. And going back to how you were talking about the course is virtually anybody could take the course. It would benefit anyone. But in looking at the IFPO, when we're talking about security officers, security guards, people use different terms around the globe, I'm sure, as you know. It can benefit, I'm sure, the novice, someone who's just starting out in the security industry.
For sure.
And it can be a refresher for someone who's been in for 5, 10, 15 years, I would guess.
Oh yeah, we've if you go to our website and you look at some of our comments and testimonials, you'll see to that effect. It's a great wall or board, if you will, of testimonials that'll explain exactly how people perceive this and the great stuff that they get out of it. It's great. And an amazing thing is that, like I said before, we're able to take people who aren't exposed to this type of stuff and break it down for them in a way that they're able to understand it. Mm-hmm. So you got the non-experienced person, and then you got the experienced person, like you said, as a refresher. And it's almost like if I had to break it up into three pieces just to explain it, it would be the understanding of what it is. And then it would be recognizing how to become aware and how to use the craft through behavior recognition and developmental exercises. And then third would be to how to advance yourself as a practitioner and understand some of the more complicated concepts that we teach in the class, the gray man theory, social camouflage versus environmental camouflage, the Tooler drill, for example, these types of things. So there is a lot of stuff. It's comprehensive, and it's packed into a great 4-hour class.
That sounds very interesting to me. I'm already intrigued.
Yeah, come on board.
All right. And so, yeah, how can somebody do that? They go to your website.
Sure. Anybody can pop on by to situationawarenesstraining.com, and you'll get all the information there. feel free to reach out to us. We have a contact page. We'll get an answer back to you within 24 hours. And you can if you want, write by email, it's contact@arcurigroupllc.com.
Just something else that occurred to me, Dom. This situation awareness, it kind of speaks to I would say like a core need as a human. I would think just to be more aware of everything going on around you. Survival. When you break it down, it's about survival. And I think most people would like to survive and would like to be better at surviving.
Well, this is why we talk about the capable lifestyle versus the vulnerable lifestyle. A lot of providers out there that provide security training and even karate training, they start off with the terrible things that can happen to you in life, and they place people in this state of fear, and that's how they present their product. But the idea is that we don't want people to leave their home terrified or scared of what could happen. Instead, we want them to feel positive about how capable they are. And you start that by educating them in situational awareness, and how those elements and those components of situational awareness can contribute to a more capable lifestyle. And then that brings up their confidence level. And so they're able to understand what's happening around them better, and they're able to see potentially danger that may be coming long before, that it impacts them, and they're able to make decisions faster. So it's not about, oh my God, you got to learn this, because if you don't, you could get stabbed at night or robbed. We don't go down the fear route. We go down the route that brings up confidence levels and capability. It's about blending in, recognizing, and being able to act in a confident manner.
Great. Well, Dom, I want to thank you so much for your time. I look forward to the relationship between your company and the IFPO. I think it's going to be great. And
we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I feel pretty certain that we're going to have more of these, more discussions on Zoom, as you roll out various products. And I'm excited about it.
Yeah, we are very excited too. And I'll just say it in closing, being able to work with an industry leader like IFPO it's going to allow us to better navigate, the security education industry. And you guys, IFPO set an incredible standard for training and security on a global scale. So we're honored to be invited to participate as a partner.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Dom, and
thanks,
we'll talk
Ted.
soon.
All right, thanks, brother.